He's already restricted me to a carpet. Like, what's up with that? Right? So instead, if I go here, what happens? Just out of curiosity. Oh, okay. According to the Talmud, we're born twice. Once from the womb of our mother, and once from ourselves. And my story is a rebirth story on multiple occasions in my life. So I'm going to invite everyone to close your eyes just for a few seconds. And as you close your eyes, I want you to imagine waking up on a hospital bed, and there's an IV bag attached to your arm, and there's blood coming through that IV bag into your body. I want you to, for a moment, reflect on what happens. When you open your eyes and you look at that bag, what goes through your head? Are you thinking that, oh yeah, of course, somebody saved me? Are you thinking I'm entitled to what's going on? Or are you grateful that somebody else chose to walk into some sort of a blood donation and gave blood so that you could live a little bit more? So with that, I'll invite you to open your eyes. I found myself in that position just a few weeks ago. And as I was laying on that bed, I was thinking about the word oneness. And as I laid there, I was also reminded of the word choice. Such a small word in the English language with a profound impact on our lives, on how we choose to see each event that happens in our life. You, me, everyone is an accumulative outcome of all of the choices you've made in your life, intentional or unintentional. So I'm going to repeat that sentence. We are the accumulative outcome of every choice you've intentionally or unintentionally made in your life. So we ourselves are responsible for where we are at. In that hospital bed, I had choice, yeah? So as I was looking at that blood bag and I saw the blood drops dripping, I was thinking I was in extreme gratitude that somebody else's blood was running through my veins. Talk about oneness. 6 people's bloodline right now, in this moment, are running through my body. 6 people. That's insanity. Their lineage, their ancestral lineage, whatever it is, the choices they made in their life, all of those things are now a part of Jivi. Yeah? In 2010, I found myself sitting at the edge of Portman Bridge at 2 a.m. I found myself sitting there because I was going to jump. I was going to jump because I thought my life was over. There was nothing to live for anymore, so I was going to jump. Choice. Millisecond of a choice. Even to this day, I remember all the police speakers behind me because the police were there, family was there, and I could hear the loudspeakers. I'm literally sitting on the edge of Portman Bridge, and all I could think about was, will I go unconscious before I hit the water? Because I don't want to feel pain if I die. Fast forward, 2014. Where am I sitting? At the edge of an 18th floor condo building, thinking, if I jump, will I be unconscious before I hit the concrete? 3. 2016. Sitting in my garage, after doing a whole bunch of research as to how to commit suicide with the least amount of pain. Literally, my search history shows that. And I found out sitting in your car, turning it on, closing the garage door, is the best way to go. So there I sat in my car, with my car on and the garage door closed. Each one of these events, I had an angel either call I remember vividly on Portman Bridge, somebody in the background said, "Has anybody called her kids?" And I immediately turned around and I thought, oh shit, what about my kids? Yeah? Apartment building, same thing. As I sat on that ledge, I had pulled up the bar stool to the edge and I was sitting there. And my friend called and she said, "How are you?" I said, "Oh, great. I'm great." And she said, "Oh, how are the kids?" I thought, oh shit, the kids. Pulled my stool back and I'm like, the kids. Same thing in the garage. Sitting there, get a call from a friend. He's like, "Oh, what are you up to?" I said, "Oh, nothing. I was just going to go drive around. I wasn't feeling really well." She said, "That doesn't sound like you." So turned off the car, walked into the house, and this time I thought, oh shit, why do I keep getting caught? Like, this is insane. This is time 3 now. Yeah? Now, go back to 2 weeks ago when I was laying on that bed and the blood was dripping. I've moved to gratitude. It's like, oh, I want to live. I now want to live because I choose to see the sequence of events in my life. You'll notice I don't call them trauma because I don't want to give them any more power. I'm done with giving events in my life power. Because the more power I give it, the more they override my heart center. My heart center wants to live. I want to see my kids get married. I want to see grandkids. I want to see all the marvelous things that exist in the world. But in those moments where it was a millisecond of a decision, jump or not jump, stay in the car or not stay in the car, jump from the bar stool or not, that is a millisecond of a decision, a choice that was made. And I was lucky enough to have magnificent friends in my life that knew just the right time to call. But at that time, I didn't see that. At that time, I thought it was an annoyance. And literally, I remember the third time thinking, this is so stupid. Like, why am I still here? And we find ourselves asking that question. Who am I? What am I here to do? What's my purpose? What's my calling? All of those beautiful things that commercialization tells us we should know. I'm here to tell you, you don't need to know. You just have to be present in every single moment and not desire it to be any different. The more we resist that moment, the harder it becomes for you to accept where you are at. We are all going to experience good, bad, and ugly. What differentiates us is your way of looking at the event. I have gone through multiple tiers of trauma events in my life, and yet, here I stand. I'm fearless, I'm courageous, I'm bold. If I have something to say, believe me, I'll say it. Yeah? So perseverance is not something huge. Me wearing an Indian suit today is perseverance. This suit is dedicated to my mom. Because when she came to Canada, you guys are not going to believe this, but when she came to Canada, they would not wear an Indian suit to go and hang their own laundry in our own backyard. This suit is perseverance. It's perseverance of a culture. It's a perseverance of Indian women that have come forward to say, just because I'm this attire doesn't negate my PhD, doesn't negate my doctorate, doesn't negate any of the work I've accomplished, any of the books I've written. Am I any different today because I stand in front of you in an Indian suit? No. Small component of perseverance since the 50s, 60s, and 70s. When you look at those 3 decades, that was what was going on in the Indian community. They couldn't wear their own attire and walk out in public in fear of being ridiculed, things thrown at them, words like "paki" thrown. I remember when I was in grade 12 and somebody said that to me, and what went through my head was, but I'm not from Pakistan. It was so silly, yeah? But yet, there is a segregation that was occurring. And so I think my parents probably saw it worse than we did. But still, today, when I was making a decision about what am I going to wear to this event, and I literally thought, oh, I'm going to wear an Indian suit in dedication for my mom, in dedication for all the Indian women that have persevered over the years to actually get to where we've gotten. And yet, I had that doubt. For a moment, I went to my closet and I'm like, no, I'll just wear a business dress. I'll just wear a sweater for a moment. And then I thought, no, it wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't do that. So here's my invite to each and every one of you. When you think of perseverance, against all odds, you live your job description here on earth. We're all here on Project Earth, and every single one of us has a job description. Why do you think I didn't go in those 3 events? I have a job description, man. I've got some performance indicators I need to do for myself before I go anywhere. Yeah? And each and every one of you do too. And you have your own tool belt that you have come fully equipped with in order for you to do that job description. But society, culture, religion, upbringing, all of that takes us farther and farther away from our job description on Project Earth. So my invite to you is against all odds. Fulfill whatever that job description is for you. In wrap up, in closing, here's what I'm going to say. I have immense amount of gratitude towards Winston. I have to say that when I think about the epitome of perseverance, it's Winston. Seriously, you guys. He is so dedicated to this Aladdin's carpet, where we each share our story in the interest of impacting just one person. I'm not here to impact everybody. One person. That's it. Yeah? I have immense amount of gratitude towards Matt, Nadeem, wherever he is. I can't see him in the dark. But without these 2 guys in the background, we wouldn't be on this carpet. And we wouldn't be sharing our stories. Yeah? So immense amount of gratitude. I'm also feeling, just standing on this carpet alone, the honor and the gratitude to every single speaker that's gone on before me. And believe me, as I was sitting there, I was like, my story's not as relevant. Look how amazing they are when they share their stories. So I'm absolutely honored to be standing on this carpet of perseverance, where all these speakers have shared their vulnerable stories. So my second invite to each of you is also share your story. Everybody has a story. So if you have an opportunity to work with Winston and his team, please take it.